Beneath us is a material that geologists like to call glacial till, but it's also known as boulder clay. Because it's got clay in it, it's very badly drained. So quite often you get bog developing on top of your glacial till. So a lot of the area we walked across was very, very boggy. There's lots of sphagnum moss, lots of bog-loving plants, and that's because beneath us it's very bad drainage, and you get all this, all the water just stays. Beneath the boulder clay would be the limestone. And one of the big clues that we have limestone beneath us is that feature down there. And we can all hear water, but you can't see it. And what's happening is that there's water flowing down this stream here. It's flowing into this big hole here and it's sinking beneath the ground. Now geologists call these features dolines, and a doline is essentially just a name for a depression in the surface. The doline below us here is what we call a collapsed doline, because we know there's a cave under there. And the reason we know there's a cave is because there's water going in there, and that water has to go somewhere, otherwise it'll be overflowing. These boulders were essentially dropped as the ice sheets melted 13,000 years ago, and this sandstone has been carried, we think, from somewhere near the top of Culcaigh Mountain, and you'll see Culcaigh Mountain whenever we get over the hill. These are quite small glacial erratics, and we'll see some much larger ones later on. We've come from the Shannon pot, so if you think about going backwards, the water is essentially coming down this short river, and it sinks just over there where all the boulders are on the far side. It sinks over there and travels underground and reappears at the Shannon pot. And this river is only a couple of 100 metres long, and it comes out of Garvagh Lake, or Garvagh Lough, which is just on the other side of the road. We'll go up there too as well and have a little look. But if you imagine we are tracing the water backwards, and then we'll eventually end up in the Burren, and that's where some of this water starts off in the first place. So what happens here is that water flows in the Garvagh Lough, flows out the other side about 200 metres, goes down to Polnowan, disappears underground, and then goes back up at the Shannon pot.
Burren means stony place, charged place.
There's lots of burns all the way across Ireland. It's just unfortunate we all think of them on County Clare.
It's really important.
Exactly. Jim and I take the odd walk up here, and people always say to you, how do you know that's not natural? This is sandstone, and sand itself is pure quartz, and quartz is pretty much chemically inert. It's very, very stable, so very little will dissolve that quartz. The one way you can test that is to bring up hydrochloric acid, and we have been up, and there's no reaction whatsoever. So it is all quartz, it's all silica, therefore it doesn't dissolve.
It's an example of lithic percussion marks and causing the grooves and the ridges. This is what we call the Druid chair. And so sit in and take a photo. Grave is facing directly into the setting sun on the winter side. We've two chambers, portico and a big main chamber. It's constructed of sandstone except for one slab of limestone and another slab of limestone at the entrance to that. Okay, tell us quickly. We're the first of the megalithic tombs that were constructed, dating to about 3,500 to 4,000 BC, so anything from 5,500 to 6,000 years old.
There's the sandstone on the top and limestone on the bottom. It's been transported by the ice sheets and it's been dumped here.
It might have been, but it hadn't been cleared. It hadn't been cleared.
This is essentially the source.
Look it's sinking. It's going under it.
Yep.
It goes way down into the limestone and it reappears way down in the valley in Lough, which means Lough means the valley, the hollow of the sinking stream. Yeah. So there's your sink, and it comes back up over ground for I suppose half a mile or more to Garvagh, then goes out of Garvagh, sinks again. Alright.
Shannon. That's
Back
it.
up.
Yep.
Overground.
The headwaters. Some of the
Some of the
headwaters.
headwaters, yeah.
Some of the headwaters of the
Not
Shannon.
long.
Okay.